My honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations. Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Well, it's ESBI. You can always tell an employee by their words. I'm not really religious, but in the Bible it says the word becomes flesh. So employees always say the same words. I want a safe, secure job with benefits. And an S, a small business person says, if you want it done right, do it by yourself. And then the B entrepreneur says, I'm looking for the best team. They want a team behind them. And the I is an investor, but it's an insider investor. And people say, well, inside investment's illegal. I said, no, it's just how close to the inside are you? So when I invest, I don't own any stocks or bonds or mutual funds because that's for outside investors. I want to be part of the deal. So my goal, you can see back here's my cash flow board game. My goal was to take three companies public on Toronto Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, and NASDAQ. So I got Toronto and New York Stock Exchange public, and I'm going to take my NASDAQ company public this summer.
Now, Robert, I got to ask you this. The cash flow quadrant was obviously in your book. I mean, Rich Dad Guide to Investing. I've kind of desecrated this.
Thank you for reading it. I can't believe that you do it worse than I do. Well, I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Oh man, you should see that. I mean, every book that you've written, I highlight this. I've got Post-it notes. People are saying, "What did you do to that book?" But the cash flow quadrant is a big part of your curriculum and of your teaching. What advice would you have for an entrepreneur out there, plumber, doctor, dentist, somebody who's got a business but it's just not growing, they're not gaining traction? What would you say to them, sir?
Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. So you can tell a person whether they're capitalist or communist by their actions.
When did you decide to be the gold buyer guy? Like, when did you decide to, not just think about it and study it and look into the collapse of the dollar? When did you decide, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to start buying gold?
Because as you know, every time they print money, the rich get richer, but the poor and middle class get poorer. So we're printing $1 trillion every 90 days now. So those who own real assets like Wagyu cattle, gold, silver, real estate, oil, we get richer. But what else goes up in price is food, like chicken and eggs. You can't afford eggs today. So every time you print fake money, which is what I saw back when I was 17 years old, when you print fake money, guys like us get richer, but my friends and family get poorer because no financial education in school.
Now, let's drill down into that for a second. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the BRICS nations for 16, almost 17 years, they've been hoarding the Earth's gold. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These countries are not screwing around. They've been hoarding the Earth's gold in preparation to do what? Well, Putin has announced a great expansion of the BRICS bloc. And now you have, I'm just giving a rough average here, but now you have the majority of the Earth's assets are controlled by these nations that identify with the BRICS bloc. And these countries have a stated goal of introducing a gold-backed programmable currency. I don't think the average person knows that, and I don't think the average person knows that the United States enjoys an incredible privilege as the world's reserve currency since the Bretton Woods Agreement. I don't think people know that. I know that because of your teaching and others, but most people do not know that. So could you maybe articulate or explain, Robert Kiyosaki, for our listeners out there, why do our listeners need to know that Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, those countries are hoarding the Earth's gold and attempting to introduce a new reserve currency?
Because I think it was J.P. Morgan or somebody that said, gold is money, the rest is credit or debt. And gold is the only money there is, according to that's in his theory. So that's why I tell the story of flying behind enemy lines. It's Gresham's law. We know what real money from fake money. But my greatest concern here is this: if we don't make changes in what we teach ourselves and our kids, the poverty in America is going to go through the roof because we're now the biggest debtor nation in the world. And, like what they're teaching us now is DEI. What about teaching us money? And I don't think it's a mistake. That's my concern. It drives me on. It drives me on, drives me on, because I love my country. 2 tours in Vietnam. But why does our school system not teach us anything about the truth about money? So gold is money. I call it God's money. Gold and silver are God's money, and Bitcoin is people's money. The dollar is fake money. And the more fake money we produce, which we do every day now, the greater the poverty goes up. Inflation wipes out the middle class and poor, but guys like me get richer because I own gold mines.
Now,
Tragic.
Now, Robert, I want to tie this into your relationship with Eric Trump, because you are coming to our business conference here in March, and Eric Trump speaks so highly about you. I'm working with Eric on his new book, and so I was with him 2 Mondays ago, finalizing some language on the book. And Eric's putting out his first book here at an age where he'll probably be the same age his father was when his father put out The Art of the Deal. So his father Donald J. Trump put out The Art of the Deal at age 41, and Eric is putting together a book at a similar age. So it's really exciting to see him do that. And he speaks super highly of you. Now, Steve, Eric and I have done 25 events together.
Right.
And you were stage side at one of the events.
Mm-hmm.
And I never know what Steve's going to say to people he just met. All I know, I think you told Eric, you said, "Hey, I'm the guy that drives the Lamborghini." Is that what you said to him?
I don't remember exactly what I said, because I was kind of in shock, when you meet somebody like that obviously we all have a lot of respect for.
Yeah.
And but Laura was the icon that night, I think.
Everyone wanted to see Laura.
Yeah, he married up.
Okay, well, I got to ask you. So now that you have met Eric,
yeah,
and Robert is very good friends with the Trump family, what question would you have for Robert Kiyosaki about working with the Trump family, hunting with the Trump family? What question would you have?
Well, I think the perception that a lot of us supporters of them have is that they're just super down to earth, normal guys, which is what I kind of got in my quick meeting with Eric that I have. Can you talk a little bit about that, about like your interactions with them, and what, some people are just a little different when they're on their own, but I would imagine that they're pretty down to earth guys. Is that accurate?
Amen, brother. I go to this private island in Hawaii called Niihau. You have to have special permission. We fly in via helicopter. There's no toilets, no running water, nothing. And we go there to hunt. And you get to know people pretty closely when you got no toilets, nothing, and you're sleeping on the outside. We had to catch our own food. And those young men now, they're such the best young men. I think that's story. We're driving to the airport, catch the helicopter on the island of Kauai to Niihau. And Don Jr. and Eric were talking to their sister. She was dating some guy, I think the guy she married. And they were giving her recipes so she could cook for her future husband. I said, who in the world taught you guys recipes? Our mother. And it goes back to the mother also. So I said, our mother was a strong woman. So anyway, it does take a family. And I think that's what's really quite shocking is the number of single moms raising boys today. It's tragic.
Now, Dr. Z, you do a form of hunting. Some might call it faux hunting, where Robert Kiyosaki, Eric's told me that he actually has been hunting with Robert Kiyosaki on multiple occasions where they're out there for multiple days. They're in a situation where they're kind of removed from the accoutrements of modern life. They're sort of off the grid. Dr. Z, could you share with Robert Kiyosaki here about your approach to hunting? Because I think your approach to hunting is a little bit different.
Well, I'm more of a gentleman hunter, I guess you would say. High fence is kind of my friend, and they don't actually tie the animal to the tree, but it is kind of almost a guaranteed hunt, wink wink, if you know what I mean.
That's awesome.
And then we retire to the fire pit area where we have a cigar and maybe a beverage of your choice.
Some lag of
Now, real quick, this is what I'm doing. But this is a true story here. Dr. Z, I've listened to an unhealthy amount of Robert Kiyosaki's podcast, and I've spent an unhealthy amount of time with you. And you two guys are so similar. So when Robert comes to the event in Tulsa, I'm having we're organizing a dinner that night for a couple of the speakers. I'm going to make sure you two guys get to know each other, because you are so similar in every checkbox, and you guys are both so excited about teaching success. So I want to go back to this idea of teaching success. There's somebody watching this show right now, and you are in a hypnotic rhythm. Somebody watching, I'm talking to you right now. You're in a hypnotic rhythm where you go to work, you go to church, you go home. I'll repeat. You go to work, you go to church, you go home. Again, you go to work, you go to church, you go home. You're 37. You go to work, you go to church, you go home. You're 52. You go, and there's somebody needs to just wake up. There's something that has to happen. I grew up without money, and Robert Kiyosaki, your book was, my boss, Jeremy Thorne, said, Clay, I'm a 19-year-old working at Faith Highway and Impact Productions. It's a call center. He says, you need to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I said, why? He said, because you're going 90 miles an hour in a circular motion. You're like a boat without a rudder. I see the energy you're putting into it. I'm a couple years older than you, and I really think you need to read this book. And just the discipline of knowing, okay, here's the path. I'm going to go from being an employee to self-employed, to being a business owner, to being an investor. That was so freeing for me. And then 2005, meeting with Sean Copeland and Dr. Z and a handful of guys who kept telling me, just save a set percentage of your income. Just save, and just that discipline of take 25% of my income, buy gold, 25% buy real estate from emotional people. That let me know there was a proven path. What do you say to somebody right now who's watching this, Robert Kiyosaki, and then for some reason they've been in that hypnotic rhythm, they've been drifting, which I think is more dangerous than going the wrong way because you don't know how bad it's getting. What do you say to somebody who needs that wake-up call, sir?
Well, you've got to seek teacher. Who are your teachers? Like Dr. Z, I would seek him out. And I sought my rich dad out. And it came from the story of the three wise men. I'm not very religious, but I had to go to Sunday school. And my Sunday school teacher said, why were the three wise men wise? And I said, because they were rich. And she goes, what? I'm 7 years old. They were rich. She goes, why do you say that? I said, one had gold, one had frankincense, and one had myrrh. That's why they were wise. She goes, that's not it. So I said, well, why were they wise? She says, they were seeking the best teacher. And that became a guiding lesson in my life that I've had numerous types of rich dads and rich women, but I want to seek the people who are actually doing it, not theorizing it. So I was in the MBA program. I was sound asleep. And this guy was telling me stuff he'd never done before. Do you know what I mean? How can you teach kids when you haven't done it before?
Yeah.
That's like when I went to Vietnam, I saw like this thing here before. I was teaching at Camp Pendleton. And I said, I wanted to know who was the best pilot, the best gunship pilot. His name was Captain Forrester. And so I was at Camp Pendleton, California. And I sought Captain Forrester out. I said, Captain Forrester, teach me. And he taught me stuff they don't teach you in flight school. How to stay alive, how to fight, how to gun, how to hit trees. And so you always want to seek the best teacher. And I still do the same thing today. I still seek the best teacher.
Now, Robert Kiyosaki, one thing I notice a lot, and Dr. Z, I'm sure you've seen it a lot. I meet people all the time that come into my life and they say, I've got 400,000 followers on Twitter. And I go, well, that's incredible. That's actually more than I have. It's incredible. Thank you. And they'll say, and so here's the thing. I don't actually have any money. And I hear that all the time. They go, I'm on TikTok. I got 1 million followers on TikTok. It happens. I mean, at every business conference I've done, and I have spoken at business conferences for now 20 years doing this. And when people will show up, and they do it all the time, and it's becoming increasingly normal for somebody who's a beautiful looking man or woman, and they'll come to me and they'll say, I've got 170,000 followers on X. I'm a kind of a big deal on Instagram. I just don't have any actual customers. And they're constantly feeding the beast, making videos, making viral videos about how to get rich. And then the videos keep getting shorter because, the shorts get more views, right? So now they're doing like 14-second videos where they go, sit up, And they're adding music to it, and the videos are getting dumber and shorter, and they're getting more viral, and they're making less money, and they're spending more of their time making these videos. Robert Kiyosaki, what do you say about the world of charlatanism that we live in, where all these fake influencers who keep making increasingly shorter and dumber videos? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think YouTube is a tremendous educational platform for good and bad. So you've got to really, again, choose your teachers wisely, as anything else. So the best lesson sits in the back here, and I think you do it and Dr. Z does it. Once you learn something, if you really want to learn it, you got to teach it. Teaching is one of the highest gifts you can give yourself. But like when I meet people like you, Clay, I was at the gym yesterday, and these young guys come up to me and say, "Thank you, you changed my life." That's the biggest juice there is.
Yeah.
You know, when you get back what you've learned, you've actually earned it then. So I created the board game so that once you learn the game, then you can teach others. And that's how we change the world.
Now,
People is better than going to school.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick so our listeners can see this. The website here, richdad.com, that's where you can purchase the board game. Sir, is there a better place you want to direct people to? Where's the best place to buy the cash flow board game? Where can we go there, sir?
Well, it's on the Rich Dad website, just I don't do that. My company does all that.
No problem. I'm
stuff.
going there right now. I'm making it easy. I'll put a link on the show notes, richdad.com. See, I'm clicking on the store button here. I'm clicking. I'm pushing through carpal tunnel. I'm clicking on the products button. I'm scrolling down. I'm pushing. I'm pushing. Now I'm going to stay on. Now I encourage everybody out there. Currington, this is what I'm asking. I'm asking everybody out there that doesn't hate themselves to go right now to richdad.com. If you hate yourself, don't worry about it. But if you don't hate yourself, go to richdad.com and you'll scroll under products, buy a copy of the physical game there. That's call to action number 1. Call to action number 2, there's this incredible podcast on YouTube called The Rich Dad Radio Show. I listen to this show everywhere I go, and I find myself listening to things like Octanon Verba, and it takes me like 7 times to get that concept through my cranium. And there's a lot of shows that are not the Rich Dad show, so you want to go to the official Rich Dad channel. There's a lot of people that want to be the Rich Dad channel, but they're not. So you go up here to YouTube. You got to find. I'll put a link on the show notes as well. You need to subscribe. Now, again, see, this only applies to people that don't hate themselves. So 1, buy a copy of the book. 2, or the copy of the board game. 2, subscribe on YouTube, and then 3. As of right now, we have 38 tickets left for the in-person workshop coming up here March 6th and 7th. And the way it's going to go is we're going to do a 90-minute Q&A session with Robert Kiyosaki and a 90-minute session with Eric Trump. And so a lot of conferences, people talk at you. This will be different because it's the Q&A format. It's the Q&A format. So, see, just to kind of
saying if I get a ticket and I show up,
yes,
I can ask Special K a question.
Any question that you want, and it's going to be a great environment. It'll be about 300 people here, so it's going to be very interactive. We have scholarship tickets available to make it affordable for everybody. So, see, just to demonstrate the power of the Q&A here, in the final 5 minutes, we have Robert Kiyosaki. I'm going to give you the opportunity, sir, to ask your final Q, and then he can provide an A. And then, Steve, you have a question as well. So, Robert Zellner, Dr. Zellner, what question would you have for Robert Kiyosaki?
I love board games growing up. What was your favorite board game growing up, Robert Kiyosaki?
Monopoly or greenhouses.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. This is going deep. If you could own any color group on the board, think about this. Any color group on the board, which one gave you the best return? Let's see how much you know Monopoly.
Asking me?
Yes, he's asking you, sir.
The green ones.
Oh,
okay. Now you're 2 fellow board gamers. So somebody out there who's a big Monopoly fan, that resonated.
Here's the one that I did with the math, the dice. The orange were always the best.
Really?
Is that right?
The orange were always the best. The houses were cheaper, you better return, and more likely for people to land on them. I'm just telling you, orange is where it's at.
What I'm going to do at this VIP dinner is I'm going to make sure there's a room sectioned off so you two can get into Monopoly and really have that debate.
Well, that's my secret sauce. I just gave away my secret sauce to the game. I'm going to be, I shouldn't have said that.
Now, Steve Currington, final question. What question would you have for Robert Kiyosaki, sir?
Are you still flying? Do you ever get up in the left seat of that Lear 60? Or
No, no. It's a
You
thing
ride the
called
back?
it's proficiency. You lose your touch really quickly.
Yep.
So it's best I let somebody who's flying every day. So I sit in the back.
Now, Robert Kiyosaki, I'm going to pull this up real quick because I want our listeners to see this again here. On Amazon, you wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And most people know you because of that book. That book is an incredible book. I encourage everybody to buy a copy of that book. Also, you wrote the Rich Dad Guide to Investing. I mean, that thing is so hot. That book, I'm telling you, folks, if you haven't picked up that book, Rich Dad Guide to Investing, that book is great. The book you wrote with Donald J. Trump, Why We Want You to Become Rich. I don't know if people know about these books. I think some of our listeners do, some of them don't. I'm telling you, if you're saying, hey, listen, it's January and you want to get a head start on next year's Christmas presents, pick up these books, get a copy of the board game. Robert Kiyosaki, I'm going to give you the final word, sir. Final 60 seconds. What say you, sir?
I like what Maria Montessori, she was a great educational entrepreneur. She says what the hand does, the mind remembers. So in other words, you want to play golf, you better pick up a golf club. And the reason the board game is so powerful is you have to do all four intelligence: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. That's how we learn the best. And then you go to real life.
Robert Kiyosaki, thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate you investing your most important asset with us, which is your time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Take care,
Doctor.
brother.
Take care.
Are you looking to start or grow a super successful business? Join Eric Trump, the New York Times bestselling author of The Carnivore Diet, Sean Baker. Join hundreds of real business owner client success stories at the highest rated business conference in America. Join Mel K, Julie Green, Amanda Grace, Pastor Dave Scarlett, and myself in Tulsa, Oklahoma, November 5th and 6th. Attend the most real, the most authentic, the highest rated, and most reviewed Ultimate Business Growth Workshop. During this 2-day interactive business workshop, you're going to learn everything you need to know to make your business grow. Learn how to generate more sales. Learn how to produce additional high-quality inbound leads. Learn how to create repeatable systems. Learn how to build a successful business. And learn how to do it now. If you've ever wanted to learn how to start and grow a super successful company, this is the event for you. At our 2-day interactive business workshop, we will teach you specifically every step that you need to take to start and grow a super successful company. We will teach you specifically how to get to the top of the Google search engine results, how to dominate artificial intelligence search results, how to market via social media, how to generate more leads, and how to get in front of your ideal and likely buyers. We're going to teach you the step-by-step processes that you need to learn in order to hire, inspire, train, and retain high-quality employees and teammates. We're going to teach you specifically what you need to learn to manage a team of people. We're going to teach you how to manage your finances, how to look at the numbers, and to figure out the specific steps that you need to take to create a time freedom and financial freedom producing business. At the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, we've been teaching entrepreneurs everything they need to know to start and grow a successful company since 2005. In fact, at our 2-day interactive business workshops, we're going to teach you marketing, systems and scaling, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and so much more. You can learn more and request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. Yes, you can request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. That's the website. Join Eric Trump, myself, and Team America live and in person at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, November 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown 5 times. I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to Oh, in 6, 7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new. And I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement.
Okay, Aaron Antis, November 5th and 6th. Guess who's coming back to Tulsa? I will give you a hint. His first name is Eric, and his last name is Trump. Whoa. And his father is the 47th president of these United States. Yes, Eric Trump is joining us once again here September 25th and 26th in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. But Eric Trump is bringing friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Grace will be in the place. Dr. Stella Emanuel will be here in T-Town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Julie Green will be on the scene. Mel K will be here to say hey. Dave Scarlett from the His Glory team will be here. It's going to be a blasty blast right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you want to start or grow a super successful company, if you want to make your wallet great again or make your wallet great for the first time, if you want to learn marketing, systems, scaling, human resources, accounting, social media, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and more, get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Play is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely... It's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Well, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, he needed a competent man to run and execute his business plans.
Showtime!
So the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. Right. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him.
Character.
Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had
718 people. 718 people.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what, we should probably add on. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis.
Sure.
There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. I mean, there's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
You know, I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business.
It's tough.
But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet.
I was looking to learn how to take my business, like they've said today, from being very successful to being systematic. I've got a very successful practice in 3 different cities, make good money. Just want to take it to the next level with systems and processes to where I can drive my cars more.
Paul Hood.
I have been a CPA for 33 years.
And what kind of growth have you and your great team had here over the past, let's say, 5-6 years?
For the last 5, when I met you 5 years ago, we were doing 3 million. This year we'll do 24 million.
Whoa. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma. And nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental,
a storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, You want a life-changing experience. You want to learn how to start and grow a company. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now. thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Thomas Crossan, owner and founder of Full Package Media in Dallas, Texas. I've been a coaching client with Clay Clark since the beginning of our business. We started about a year ago, August of last year. I had no clients, no idea what we were doing, no clue really what was going on. And now we've grown to where we've got 6 photographers, we've got office space here. I have an admin, sales person that works for us full time. Developing an online system, and a lot of that growth we attribute to Clay helping us. And there's so many things that, his stuff is not revolutionary. It's not this crazy walk on hot coals and all this stuff. It's just real stuff.
It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that.
Whoa. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. It is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right. Really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you, it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Whoa.
What kind of growth have you had since you and I have been working together over these past few years?
3.45 million. I got those stats before I got on here.
So you've grown by 3.45 million.
Yeah, 3,450,000.
Would that be like if you took the combined revenue, maybe doubled it? Have we gone up by
about almost 3, not quite.
Whoa.